Captain James Reed stood in the corner of the Galactic Council reception hall, a glass of something blue and bubbly in one hand, the other resting on the antique holster at his hip. His weathered face remained impassive as he observed the mingling delegates. Humans had only been part of the council for 5 years, and despite their rapid technological adaptation, they were still viewed as primitive curiosities by most alien species. The holster contained his great-grandfather's revolver, a Colt single-action army from the 1800s. It was a family heirloom, and he had special permission to carry it as a cultural artifact during diplomatic functions. Most aliens found the concept of gunpowder weapons quaint and barbaric. "Ah, the human with his ancient killing tool," came a voice like grinding stones. Reed turned to face Ambassador Krull, a hulking reptilian with armored skin and 6 eyes arranged in a hexagonal pattern. The Turas were one of the oldest species in the council, and among the most condescending toward humanity. "Ambassador," Reed nodded politely. "Enjoying the reception?" "Indeed. Though I wonder why you persist in carrying that primitive device. Your species has access to proper energy weapons now." Krull gestured at the holster. "May I?" Reed hesitated, but council protocol made it difficult to refuse. He carefully removed the revolver and held it flat on his palm. "Colt Single Action Army, 1873. My family has maintained it for over 200 years. A small crowd of aliens gathered, their curiosity piqued by the archaic weapon. Krull picked it up with surprising delicacy for his massive claws. "How curious. It uses a chemical propellant to launch metal projectiles, so inefficient." Krull turned the gun over, peering at it with his multiple eyes. "And you need to reload after just 6 shots." Laughter rippled through the group. Reed had grown accustomed to this reaction. "Sometimes 6 is all you need," Reed said quietly. "Your species reached space using technology like this," asked a slender avian alien named Vex. "Remarkable you didn't destroy yourselves first." Reed took back his revolver, checking it before returning it to the holster. "We came close a few times. The conversation might have ended there if not for the explosion that rocked the far side of the hall. Screams and shouts erupted as smoke filled the air. 'Raiders!' someone yelled. The Galactic Raiders were notorious pirates who targeted high-profile events. Reed instinctively reached for his communicator, but it was dead. Signal jammers. Through the chaos, armed figures in sleek armor emerged. Energy weapons hummed to life as they herded frightened delegates into the center of the room. "Weapons and valuables in the center," commanded the lead raider, voice distorted through a mask. "Compliance ensures survival." Council security had been neutralized in the initial explosion. Reed noticed the raiders wore disruptor shields. Standard energy weapons would be useless against them. Ambassador Krull stood tall among the cowering delegates. "This is an outrage. The council will." A raider shot a warning blast over Krull's head. "Silence. Your precious council can't help you now." Reed slowly removed his revolver, holding it discreetly against his leg. The raiders hadn't bothered to scan for primitive weapons, only focusing on energy signatures. "You, human," the lead raider pointed at Reed. "Place your antique in the pile. It might fetch a good price as a curiosity." "Of course," Reed said, stepping forward. But instead of surrendering the weapon, he raised it in one fluid motion and fired. The gunshot thundered through the hall, impossibly loud in a world of silent energy weapons. The lead raider staggered backward, disruptor shield useless against the physical bullet. The ancient gun spoke again, and another raider fell. The aliens watched in shock as the primitive weapon tore through advanced technology with brutal efficiency. "Take cover," Reed shouted to the delegates as he moved to a defensive position, firing his 3rd shot. What happened next would later be described in council records as the 6-shot salvation. Reed moved with practiced precision, each bullet finding its mark. The raiders, confused by a weapon their shields couldn't stop, broke formation. By the 5th shot, the remaining raiders were retreating. The 6th sent their leader crumpling to the ground. Silence fell over the hall, punctuated only by the smell of gunpowder, a scent no alien in the room had experienced before. Ambassador Krull approached Reed, all 6 eyes wide with newfound respect. "You disabled them all with that ancient weapon?" Reed reloaded methodically, muscle memory from years of practice. Sometimes old solutions work for new problems. Security forces finally broke through the jammers and flooded the hall. As medical teams tended to the injured, word of the human captain and his ancient weapon spread rapidly. Later that evening, Reed found himself surrounded by curious council members, all eager to learn about human history and warfare. The revolver remained holstered at his side, but its presence now commanded respect rather than derision. "Your weapon?" Ambassador Krull said, addressing the assembled crowd. "It does not hum or glow like our energy tools. It does not announce itself with light or sound until the moment strikes. But when it speaks," the ambassador paused, looking directly at Reed, "it speaks with authority that even our most advanced technology must acknowledge." Reed nodded slightly. "Human history is full of both terrible and wonderful inventions. We've learned it's wise to remember the old ways, even as we embrace the new." As the council session convened the following day, a new respect for humanity permeated the chambers. The species that had been seen as newcomers and primitives demonstrated that progress wasn't always linear, and that wisdom sometimes came in understanding when to reach back into history. The story of the human and his ancient gun traveled quickly through galactic channels, and when the Council voted unanimously to incorporate human military advisors into its security forces, Captain James Reed stood tall, the weathered holster at his hip now a symbol not of primitive ways, but of proven wisdom.